You know, you get like five wee green fucking bars that go up. All fucking bars are green. And of course, as soon as I start the minute I fucking start talking to you, the fucking bars go. It is fucking infuriating. It is fucking infuriating. I'll drink a fucking water. Fuck.
Okay. Have you finished?
No.
Okay. I've got no idea how to start this.
Okay.
So let's just start.
Yes. 100. Would you
I'm
like me to start?
Tebbs. I'm Tebbs. You're calm.
And I'm
No,
calm.
you start. You start. Go on. This is a brand new world, brand new venture. No, it isn't.
Okay, so we're
It's
gonna
not a
go.
venture. It's
I'm
not
gonna
fun.
say, hi, Paul. Sorry. Hi, Tabs.
Pulling back the curtain already. Hi, calm. How's the internet?
Internet fucking sucks. Just like fucking life.
Oh man, don't get me right. Okay, so hi everybody. No longer is this the Movie Chef podcast. If you're here for Movie Chef related podding, fair play to you.
Maybe twice a month we'll talk about movies. But we'll probably talk about
We
a movie
will.
tonight.
We're still going to talk about movies, okay? Tebbs and Corm here, and this is Shouting at Clouds. This is our new podcast, evolving from the Movie Chef. We are not just talking about movies from now on. We're talking about sport. We're talking about wrestling. We're talking about life, and more importantly, we're using the essence of Shouting at Clouds as two graying, balding men, fat
Excuse
around
me.
the middle, two
Oh, whoa.
fat. No, Corm. Let me finish. Two fat, balding, Irish white men. Oh no, I'm not Irish. Who just need to rant and shout at the world. And
I agree.
shout in
Yes.
clouds
Yes, I agree with that.
was just the essence of what me and you do. So look, we are still going to be talking about movies. In fact, you say this. You tell the people what you feel.
Well, the reason why we wanted to change it was because we were sick to fucking death with people getting in contact with us going, this isn't the John Favreau fucking movie, or you don't talk about dinner an awful lot. I was like,
Yeah.
well, you don't get the regular essence of the podcast, you know.
And you told people that you were, oh, it's the Movie Chef podcast. Oh, so you talk about food. Did you not hear the word movie in there?
Yeah,
Oh, so it's the chef podcast. It's a fucking movie show. Anyway, right. So we love movies. We still do. Probably not that much actually, considering what our next episode is going to be. But this is Shouting at Clouds, where you're going to get a weekly. Put that in your diaries, people. A weekly dose of me and Cormac taking it to the world, and also using this as an opportunity for us. Well, our pod was started for two friends stuck in lockdown who needed to rant and vent and chat shit,
yeah.
and it was good for your mental health. It was brilliant. It would give me something to aim for. It give me something to plan ahead. You know, it give me something to rather just think it's an endless monotony of YouTube videos and space cake. But I needed that. And there's been a lot in my life, and if you followed the Movie Chef podcast, there's personally in my life, I can't talk for him, but where I've needed to talk to friends or strangers, people who are not going to judge me for what I think and what I say. And hopefully we can be that kind of vent for you too. So, we are two middle-aged white guys who enjoy sport, we enjoy wrestling, we enjoy movies, we enjoy music, we enjoy football, even though Cormac supports Chelsea. And
Swearing, drinking.
we
Yeah,
love we love swearing.
this is what we. I was going to swear there, and I thought, you know what? No,
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 that's beneath us.
I'm not going to be that guy. No, I'll leave it.
Um,
I'll let them loose.
so this is Shouting at Clouds. Cormac, how's your week been? So let's have a bit of a check-in first. How's your week been?
I have had quite the week from thinking that I was dying to thinking that I was going through the menopause to then using the thing you sent me from the NHS to
Mm.
diagnose what I had, and then
No,
I
no,
realized you sent me a link, and
I
it's
sent you a link to the number 111 that you can phone for
yeah,
GP advice,
but
not to
underneath
then use
that,
the NHS directory to find a cheese poisoning illness.
listen. Brocosis is a real thing, and it affects a lot of people, including myself. And this is, let me speak, let me talk. All right.
Your
Two
truth.
weeks
Let's hear
ago,
your come on. Let's hear your truth.
2 weeks ago. All right. Me and Rachel had an argument about a block of brie that was in the fridge. All right. She said, "Don't eat the brie that's out of date, Cormac." And I said, "Fuck you, Rachel. I'll eat what I want." That's what I said. So then I went and I ate the brie with some crackers and some salami, right?
Hmm.
And then I start to feel not great. And it was about a week and a half ago that I told you that I just kept getting red and fucking warm. And I was like, oh, I feel down. And I was all over the place basically. And I haven't felt right since then. And then me and you had that conversation. You sent me the link. I found another link that was down below the link, and it led me to the diagnosis doctor. And then it told me that I have brucellosis. It was basically a disease that you got through eating unpasteurized cheese or drinking unpasteurized milk. Now, I get that the brie that I ate in the fridge was pasteurized. I understand that. And I have a friend who's a doctor. Hello, Matthew, who told me to go fuck myself, that brucellosis hasn't been in Northern Ireland or in the UK for 20 years. It can come back, all right? It can
Sorry.
come back.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to. I absolutely mean to laugh at you. Actually, to be
Yeah.
honest, that would have been more funny than flu. Like
Well, yeah.
some
And then I went to
archaic
A&E. I went to
countryside.
A&E. I went to A&E and they told me that I had flu. All right. So, yeah.
What
Yes,
did you
I
give it
wasted
up?
some the NHS's time. All right. Yes, I wasted their time. All right.
All right. Well, let's talk about wasting time then, because I went to the doctors as well. I had chest
Hold on. Hold on.
pains.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey, how are you?
Well, this is where I'm. Yeah. I kind of forgot about this bit, but I'm all right. Yeah, I'm all right. It's this time of year.
Ah, it's
And
awful.
a lot of people out there who I know have lost people. There's one of our listeners in particular, um, who I know has lost somebody. I'm not saying who because it's not my business. But thinking of you, okay. Um, and so anyway, I was sat at home one night, and look, I'm a big lad. I'm a big lad. I've been bigger. I'm still big, you know, and we've drunk and we've had many a takeaway and yeah, lived a life and smoked too much. And I'm sat at home one day and I just felt my chest tight, like this tightness in the center of my chest. And the following day I was at the gym and I was just doing uphill walking, about 3 mile an hour, nothing, and it started coming on, and I'm like, I'm having a fucking heart attack. I'm having a fucking heart attack. That's it. I'm done. I'm 41 years old. I'm fucked. And then it happened again the following day, and then the Monday morning, and I rang the GP, and they went, "Yeah, go to A&E." And I'm like, "Shit." Told the boss, I'm like, "You know what? I can go after work." He goes, "Go now." They were absolutely fantastic work. They just went, "Go, just go." I got there for 1 o'clock. Now you know what time I left. This is
I was getting periodical updates, yes, about what was happening around you in the waiting room.
I okay. Everybody knows I live in Leeds, and let's just say I went to the any kind of general infirmary that might be in Leeds, A&E. Talking about it like it's BBC and it's on TripAdvisor or something. Fucking
Is
hell.
that the Jimmy Savile one?
Yeah, stay away from Jimmy's because they'll kill you. No, they will. It's in fact, it's dirty. Stay away from Jimmy's. People of Leeds, don't go to Jimmy's. Um, so I'm at A&E about 3 hours after I got there, and this is middle of afternoon on a Wednesday. 3 hours after I got there, I had a blood test and a pulse was taken, and then I had another blood test, and some trainee doctor came and talked to me and asked me how I am and blah blah blah. And then they said we need to wait for the results of these blood tests, so we're going to send you into another ward. By this time, it was 9 o'clock at night, so I'd been there for 9 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours. We were sat in the waiting room, and oh, what was the fucking name of it now? There was a BBC comedy drama that came out a few weeks ago, and it was with Lenny James.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the name of this?
Do you know what? I'm looking back at the messages just to see if you talked about
I
this.
can't. I think anyway. So the BBC 9 o'clock, they always have the watershed and everything, and there was this drama series starring Lenny James on. Now there's me in the waiting area. There's a guy on the front row who looks like if you'd drawn the poster boy for Reform Party. There's an old couple. There's an old couple to my right, and then there's a young black family over the right hand side. Halfway through this TV show, two black men start having sex on TV. In the... And
Heavy on the sex on TV, not on the black man on TV. Yeah, yeah.
okay, forgive me. It was more.
No, that's no. I'm explaining. I'm explaining. You're just explaining the scene.
I am describing it.
Yeah.
And there's a but it kind of came into it because there was the black family over there. They were really embarrassed by it. The reform guy wanted to put his foot through the TV. The old woman next to me said, "I wish they didn't have this on. I'm taping it at home."
I thought she's gonna lean in you and go, "Looks like my Leonard." Oh, is that right, Vera?
Oh, it was. Well, and then like nurse were coming through, and somebody said, "Do you think that's appropriate for a hospital waiting room?" And I'm at that point. I've got my head in my book. Stephen Fry mythos, love it. I've got my head in a book. I managed to finish a book while I was there. I get through about one book a year, and I managed to do one in the afternoon. So anyway, about 11 o'clock at night, they moved me through into another ward, and it's like, do you remember the scene in? Oh Christ, what was it now? Where the guy goes, oh, it was in Rick and Morty, I think it was, where Jerry goes to the daycare and
Oh
they
yeah, with
open
all
the
the
door
Jerrys.
and there's all the Jerrys in there that have
Yeah,
just
yeah,
been
yeah.
abandoned. This ward was just full of people all sat there, and I'm like, I looked at a guy who was ahead of me in the waiting room. I went, "How long have you been here?" He says, 4 hours now. Another young lass next to us, she had like early stage cancer and something up with the blood or something.
Oh.
She'd been there since 3 o'clock the previous day in that room. And I just went up to her. I said, "I'm going home." "Oh, you need to wait for your results." "I'm off. See ya. Send me to a GP."
Fucking text me.
And I was walking home. I was fucking raging. And you know what? The NHS is broken. Do you know
Hundred.
the first thing I did the next day? The first thing I did was go online and start looking at the cost of private medical cover.
That's what they want.
Yeah,
This is what
it's
it
done.
is.
It's
The
done.
the greatest
It's
thing, that the British have ever did is being bastardized by governments,
yeah,
and because they just want more money. You think about it, right? You think of the amount of money that we pay for shit over here. You think of the amount of tax, fucking national insurance. You think about the amount of money that we pump into the public system
yeah.
every fucking day, and they still can't fix the fucking NHS.
No, it's broken,
They
Corm.
still, and do you know
I
what?
thought as a
I don't blame the doctors. Yeah, I don't blame
no,
the doctors.
no. It's the middle management. It's the people fucking siphoning the money off who have
Yeah,
absolutely no talent. But I mean, again, I've told the story about what happened with my mum. I firmly believe it was something to do with somebody in the hospital being negligent. But the way she was treated in terms of she was forgotten about
yeah.
on them beds in that ward. Yes, there are women and men and everyone in between that work in the NHS and they work hard. I'm getting to the point where at that point I'm like, you knew what you were getting in for. If don't complain about it now, don't go on strike, don't complain about the money because you knew it was shit money 10 years ago. Don't start going on about I want more hours for overtime. You knew it was shit when you went 10 years ago when you went into medical school. So yeah, I feel bad that they're being shit on, but they knew what they were getting in for. And I do believe it's some people. And you know what? Some people there, some of the nurses and stuff, fucking awesome. Real caring, real giving a shit about you.
Mhm.
And usually the doctors and the ones who are higher up, some of them don't even look at you. They don't give a shit. That empathy's gone. They feel nothing. So anyway,
Yeah.
it's just and the amount of people in there, but the NHS is relying. It's like it's being drained of resources for everybody from sort of little Timmy's just coughed all
Yeah.
the way up to, fat lad's got chest pains. It could be something, everything in between that is like you can deal with it through your chemist and self-care and don't be a dickhead and look after yourself. And then the NHS is fantastic for those people who have got a life critical illness, who have had a car crash and they don't start looking through the wallet to see if they've got insurance before giving them care.
Mm.
That's fantastic. I just think everything in between is broken at the minute.
I think you make a great point there. Is it us? Are we the
Yes.
baddies?
Yeah, we are. Yeah,
Have we made it like this? Like have we become too reliant on on medicines? Have we become too reliant on, being a slightly hypochondriac, every one of us? Like, is that what we've done?
It's
We've relied so much on the state. We've relied so much on the state. And yes, we pay for it. I'm not saying that we don't pay for it. I'm not saying that we don't fund it.
Mm.
But have we relied too much on it now?
Well, we've just had the British budget as well, where Labour's come in and they said they're not going to raise taxes on working people, and then they raised taxes on working people.
Here, they took a penny off the pint, Paul. All right, come on.
Yeah. Ross, rah, rah,
What was
round
that?
pint, rah,
Rodders,
we'll have a pint of beer.
better, please.
Me and Winston the dog going down to the pub.
Do you
See
know?
old Nigel.
There's something. There's something. I have. I went to see my friend Matthew, and the
Sorry.
in the
When does
summer.
this?
Do you remember I went to Exeter in the summer? And
Yeah,
this,
you didn't make it up here, though, did you?
this, but shut up. This is what I don't get about the English society. These are all very happy to go to the pub during the day. Now, we're like that as well. Then, I'm not saying the Irish don't drink. I'm not, now listen, this is what I'm saying, but it's more of a social thing in England.
Yeah.
It's you go for dinner and you go for a few pints, or you go to lunch for a couple of pints and stuff like that there. Over here, you go to a bar to get fucked up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
but we've got long-term drinking. It's like
yeah.
microdosing with booze. We're just always drunk on a very subtle level, and then every so often we just peak. With you lot, you just go get wrecked every night.
But 100%. It's like it's a race, as you like to say, it's a race to the bottom.
I will tell you something, going wildly off topic, that might make you chuckle. We had Halloween as well
Uh-huh.
between.
But you Brits don't celebrate Halloween.
We do apparently. Now, I'm going to tell you something, Carl. This isn't. Listen, a lot of things happened at that time. It was chaotic what happened, but I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
So I decided to get into Halloween. It felt like everybody at work was saying, do you do trick or treating? I'm like, no, I'm 41. They went, no, giving trick or treats to the kids who come to. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes
Yeah.
more sense. So I thought, right, and I got some bags of sweets, and I thought, okay, and then I don't stay downstairs in my house. I'm upstairs, all the
Yeah.
rooms are
Yeah.
upstairs, and then I thought, now I'm just hanging around in an empty room with a bag of sweets, waiting for kids.
Waiting for kids.
And I thought, I'll try and be subtle about it. I'll try and be subtle. I'll just nip to the car for something, just see if there's any out, see if there's any herds of them coming up the street. Just see, should I be ready or should I just... And there was,
Were
they were
you
like
were you dressed as Harold Shipman?
Jimmy Savile. I had my best tracksuit on, and there was a herd of them, and they were coming up. They had two adult ones, grown up parents, two moms and four
Two
kids.
adult kids.
Yeah. And there was like a little one, and then there were some other big ones. They looked like bigger than, looked about the same size as yours. So I don't know how old that is.
15.
So they're on the doorstep. Now, I'm like, I've got the bags of sweets. I've got Captain America there, and then there's a vampire, and there's some kid who's wearing a Pokemon t-shirt, and I'm like, this is pretty shit, but whatever. And I'm trying to get the sweets into the thing. Now, I've got a cat, and I don't want the cat getting out. It's an indoor cat. She's an indoor cat. She likes staying indoors. So I'm pulling the front door closed, trying to make sure the cat don't get out. And I felt something tugging on me on my right-hand side away from the door. And the woman then goes, you've got his finger trapped. And I look down to my right, and there's a 2-year-old with his finger caught in the door, in between the while he's violently tugging at my trousers to say, Mister, you're breaking my finger. Now, it was fine. It was fine. He gave me a little high five afterwards. I gave him an entire bag of Haribo. He was 2 years old. I've probably given him diabetes, but I've broken his finger and given him diabetes only one night. But yeah, and he was just bawling his eye. And then I'm like, come on, buddy, you're all right, you're all right. And he's like, yeah. And mother's like, no, it's fine. Don't worry, don't. And I felt fucking horrendous. I was like checking the door because it was dark. I'm like, it's not cut him or anything. I said, no, it were fine, it were fine. And then he gets out on the street, and then there's another mum and a kid coming up the gate towards the gate. And then the kid just points and just goes, he trapped my finger in the door. And the mother with the other kid just carries on walking past my house.
Jesus.
And I just stood on my doorstep with an empty bag of sweets
That's Halloween
and,
over.
trying to hold a cat into the house. Oh, I can't do anything. I give up. I can't do anything. I try to get involved in this shit. And it just don't ever. Oh, I tried to help. I tried to be nice, and I always end up
I think you
fucking
did. I
something
think
up.
you did a good job. You did. You did. I think you did a good job.
What of
You know,
maiming
you
a
do
child?
something just because you do something once and it doesn't work doesn't mean that you should never do it.
I'll give it another go next year.
Yeah.
Um, what else? Oh, so we're going back to the health thing,
Yeah.
NHS, mental health, healthy mind, healthy body.
Yeah.
So I've bought a treadmill,
I,
renewed faith. Oh, by
I
the way,
seen your picture and your worry when you were at the wrestling show.
yep. So I went to WWE in Sheffield recently. Everyone go to our YouTube channel. It's either going to be at the Movie Chef podcast still when you hear this, or it's going to be something like Shouting at Clouds podcast. Uh, yeah. So wherever you are, go on
Yeah.
YouTube, give us a follow and subscribe. If you like your wrestling, that's where a lot of the wrestling is going to be. So I'm going to be doing reviews of, like I've went to WWE Live, build up to WrestleMania. There's going to be some vlogs for all the live stuff I go to. Me and you are going to do a bit out with Com. I think modern day wrestling isn't really your forte, is it?
Hmm.
You're more baby oil and
Not really. Not
steroids.
really.
Yeah. So
I am more a 1987 to about 2006 kind of guy.
okay. So there's going to be some videos for YouTube WWE stuff on there. I'm going to be reviewing the pay-per-views. Me and Dan from PCB Wrestling are going to be on. Also, Dan is also the host of the Preston North End fan podcast. Have a look for that North End Pod. He's in the TalkSport fan network. So go if you're a Preston North End fan and you listen to this and your name's not Dan, go and give it a listen. So come on, let's quickly go on football then. Let's the big football of the week. Because why does James McLean hate dead soldiers? You're Irish. This is your fault. So come on.
See, this is one of those things, right, that it always annoys me. I have absolutely no problem with anybody wearing poppies.
Poppies,
None
yeah.
whatsoever. If you want to wear a poppy, wear a poppy. Yeah, I'll go for it. I've no problem with it whatsoever. If you want to celebrate there, commemorate a 2 minute silence on the 11th hour, the 11th day, the 11th month every year, go for it. I mean, I am not going to get annoyed about it. James McLean hasn't been wearing a poppy for 15 years.
It's been a while, isn't it? It's nothing new, is it?
It's nothing new. And every year, the British public get real upset about this. Now, let's take away the point of that there are multiple footballers in the UK that don't wear a poppy. Let's take away the fact that there are multiple Irish people that don't wear poppies. Um, James McLean has pretty much explained himself
Yeah.
that he will not wear a poppy because he is from Derry and the British Army opened fire on 14 innocent people in 1972 and murdered them on the streets of Derry. And if he was to wear a poppy, it would be like spitting on their grave. Now, again,
It
this
could wear
happens.
it could wear one of those rainbow poppies.
This happens every year, and the fucking pink faced gammons get real fucking annoyed about it. And it's like I don't understand. I don't understand where all the anger comes from. Like we speak about it the odd time on here, racism and people being racist and people being this and people like that. But every ground in the UK finds it absolutely necessary to call James McLean a tag, a Finian, an Irish cunt, a potato eater, and it's absolutely fine. And the media don't do anything about it. Why?
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 Why don't they?
Why is he allowed? Why is it? Why is it allowed to happen? Yet every year they all still get annoyed, and the Daily Mail still bring their article out every year. Why is James McLean not wearing a poppy? Ah, that's 15 years now.
They all sound like Ian Paisley.
That's 15 years. 15 years in that one. Always remember a story. Do you remember the Nemanja Matic used to play for Chelsea and United?
Yeah.
He never wore a poppy either because the same kind of thing happened in his town. Not the British army, but it was an army
Right.
came in and slaughtered a whole pile of people in his town in
Yeah,
Serbia,
but
and he decided that
right,
no, wearing a poppy's not for me.
right. Playing devil's advocate here.
Hmm.
If that's 14 people from Derry who were killed by British
Hmm.
soldiers, can he not? So, but by that reckoning, Nemanja Madic, whose family or friends were killed by a different army. So is it they're not wearing the poppy because they are objecting to commemorating those killed by soldiers?
It
And
is simply because the poppy has been hijacked to celebrate or commemorate every soldier who has served or fallen under the guise of the British Empire. Now, the poppy obviously was for Armistice Day, for the end of the First World War.
yeah,
If and James McLean has said this in multiple times, if the poppy was to commemorate the First and the Second World War, he would have absolutely no hesitation to put one on. But it's not. It's not. It's a representation now by the British right or whatever, or unionism over here, and they've cultivated this stigma of the poppy where it celebrates every soldier who has fought for the British Empire,
okay,
and that's what he has a problem with.
right, okay, okay. Um, I think that's that then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Next week we're going to be talking about. Well, official title next week's is "Why is the cinema dying?" We're going to leave that with
Okay.
you. So we're doing movies next week. The what's come from this for me is this week I saw Mad Max Furiosa or
Hmm.
Furiosa or Mad Max Saga or whatever, and Venom 3, Venom Last Dance. I think the age of Hollywood's on its way.
Really?
And we're going to talk about that. Not so much the age of Hollywood, but cinemas in particular, the business, the
Yeah.
buildings of multiplexes, theaters. We're going to be talking next week, something a bit more focused, shall we say, on um is the cinema industry dying? Is it all going to be online? So on and so forth. So if you've got any questions for that, if you've got any comments, use this app, use podmoviechef@gmail.com. Send us an email, ask us a question for next week on is the cinema industry dying? What do you think? Do you work in the industry? That'd be great if you could give us a shout. This week, I don't know if you do you know in America, they have something called a precedent, pres, precedent,
Sorry, let's go back. Where?
um, United States of America. Yeah,
Never
this
heard of it.
country, right? It's a country just south of Canada. Okay,
Oh,
so
yes, that big bit. Right.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
USA,
yes, yes.
USA, USA.
USA. Yes, I get it.
And they had an election to decide on who's going to be the president.
Who will
Sorry.
be the biggest erection?
Now, yeah, obviously this is the election of in America. Well done, everybody. Now,
You figured it out.
am I saying that sarcastically? Well done for what you've done. Am I saying it genuinely? Well done for voting him. Am I being sarcastic to Democrats saying, "Well done, you
Yeah,
dickheads"? How did you
well
mess
done.
it? Or am I saying, "Well done" to Trump because I'm a Trump guy? You're about to find out. First of all, Barack Obama put out a tweet of him chatting away, saying how if you're still undecided, have a think about this. And you're like, how the fuck were you still undecided before election day? Do I go with the racist whoopee cushion or the fucking estate agent who talks down to me?
The genocidal estate agent.
Which one? Which one? And it's like if you're undecided by that point, you're never going to decide. Give it up, or just don't vote. And plenty did. There's so many. So anyway, Trump won. Well done. Well done, Don. The Don.
Well done, Don.
Fuck you all. Well done, everyone. You
Well done,
fucking idiot.
everybody.
You
Well
bunch
done,
of
everybody.
right. I'm just you bunch of fucking idiots. You know what? Great. Yeah. There's a story that came. I don't mean all of you, by the way. That's probably about
I mean, all
52%.
of
That's about
you.
52% of our listeners that's just been pissed off by that. But there's a story, this factory in Arsenda, Delaware or wherever. And the guy called them all around and he said, there's no Christmas bonuses this year. I'm like, why? And they went, well, the shit that we buy from China is going up 25% next year because of all Trump stuff.
It's tariffs.
The guy you all voted for, that stuff's going to go up. So we have to buy that now cheaper, and we're using all your Christmas bonus. And they went, hang on a minute, China are paying the tariffs, and it's like they're not. You are. So let's talk about look. Trump beat Kamala Harris. There's so much about this. They tried desperately to make it a two-horse race, and it just was. He has wiped the floor. He controls the executive branch, the president. He controls the Senate, Republican House,
everything.
He's put majority people on the Supreme Court, and I tell you what, 2 or 3 of those are looking pretty ropey at the minute.
Yeah, looking at you, Sotomayor.
So he's got for now. You know what? Sorry about the fucking idiots thing, but come on, you voted for Donald Trump twice. You know what? There is people out there who want him. So you know what? He has got a clear way to getting everything through Congress and through in the Capitol. Every bit of legislation he wants to do, he is wiping out all. Schumer and Paul Ryan, is it? And all these people. Pelosi's going to be going, so she's not going to be that opposing him anymore. So he has got a clear run to take every bit of legislation he wants and put it into practice. If you lot wanted it, you're going to get it. Or I hope you get it, to be honest. I hope they get it. Because if they've voted for him and he has complete ability to do it, go and do it. Let's see what Trump's America looks like now. He's going to have no opposition, no one to impeach him. Crack on. Let's see what you're going to do. And I think it's going to be a wild ride. I really do.
Well, I had a conversation with a person in work the other day because, and I think me and you had this talk before we came on here, and it was, we're going to talk about this election, but the main point is why the fuck should we care? Like, why? Like, what does it even mean for us? What the fuck? Why should we even be involved in politics? Why should we be talking about American politics? But it's obviously a microcosm of what's happening through the world has become a smaller place, through fucking air travel and blah, 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 and whatever. The internet, social media, we all feel as if we're connected to each other in some fucking strange kind of ether kind of way. Like I can talk to somebody in fucking Zimbabwe right now, or I can talk to somebody in Melbourne, or I can go to fucking Hong Kong, or up in fucking Winnipeg. This is how close and how much the world is all involved in each other's shit. But the one question that I asked some guy, and he's a lefty lovey like myself, and I have plenty of right, Trump people in work as well, and people who are center, people who are down the middle.
You annoy me how lefty you are sometimes.
Yeah,
but let's just put that out now.
There's people in the center as well who are Trump or Kamala Harris, whatever they got there. And this guy was fucking in bits that Trump got in. And the only thing I said to him was, has the world really been that great in the last 4 years? Yeah. Like, are we living in fucking, are we eating treacle and fucking sitting on clouds? Because I fucking sure as hell aren't. I'm fucking still, sitting here paying £1.50 for a fucking tin of Coke. I'm still sitting here on social media watching fucking children getting blown up in fucking Gaza. I'm still sitting here watching fucking people fight in schools in fucking Ukraine. This shit all came along in the last 4 years. So are we in a worse or are we in a better place? Because at the end of the day, nothing that fucking Donald Trump does makes a fucking bit of difference to my life or what I do. Nothing at all.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
And if if he can, and I am in no way endorsing Donald Trump. He can go fucking suck a dick for as far as much as I can. I hate the man. I fucking hate the man. I hate his family. I hate all these fucking sycophantic bastards who fucking follow him. I hate these fucking Christian assholes that fucking says Jesus Christ second coming. Go and fuck yourself, you fucking pieces of shit, right? But if he can stop all this shit, now obviously the Israel Gaza fucking shit, he's not going to stop that. But if he can stop half the world's fucking problems just by being an absolute maniac himself, fuck it, I can put up with another 4 years of that.
See, I know it's really bad that if he goes to if he goes to Zelensky and says, "I'm not giving you any more guns. I'm not giving you any more money. You've got to give Crimea to Putin," and everybody goes home.
Yeah.
Now, Putin will then go and say, right, okay, now I'm going to take Poland. Well, you're not going to get that. I'm going to take Belarus. Who the fuck wants it? Is it just some knobhead dictator in charge of that anyway? And 4 years' time, will he have got far enough for the next president to not put a stop to it? I just don't know. I don't know what he can do. Like you say, I've seen videos and TikToks of like Democrats openly weeping in public
See,
because
I hate
Paris
this
lost.
bullshit. I
It's like,
hate that
oh, fuck off.
bullshit.
It's
And that's, do you know what the thing is as well? Do you know what the thing is as well? And this is what annoys me about the left. The left are very quick to start fucking criticizing people about, again, I'm just going to talk about the Gaza situation, but criticize people about the Gaza situation. Fucking Israel's fucking committing genocide and blah 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 blah. Kamala Harris is fucking shaking Netanyahu's hand and fucking promising him fucking billions in arms, but they're still going, yeah, she's okay. She's you got to put up with some shit. I was like, okay, well, if you can have to put up with some shit with your own person, why can't you just put up with some shit with the other person and see if you can actually make a change? See if something
yeah.
actually fucking comes out of this. Now, again, I'm not saying anything fucking will come out of this, but I mean, you
Well,
cannot sit there. You can't sit there and say that the last 4 years have been fucking good because they fucking haven't.
one of the things that's come out of everything that was in the lead up to the election was this supposed Project 25,
Yeah.
which was it's a manifesto. Which
Yeah.
America don't really have manifestos. We're going to talk about the difference between British elections and American elections. American elections are basically just it's the American version of an election. It's just
See, that's the thing,
flashy and
though.
glitzy and full of
Manifestos
celebrities and
manifestos are usually for like serial killers and cult leaders. That's what manifestos, it's fucking the
yeah.
Unabomber in a cabin writes a fucking 15 document thesis on his manifesto. But generally that's not really for sane people.
Well, there was the Project 25 manifesto that was floating around, and it was authored by a bunch of people that had been in Trump's government or Trump's inner circle. Um, but Trump and the Republicans said, no, nothing to do with us. Nothing to do with us. And then as soon as Trump wins, the same way Farage backtracked on the £350 million a week to the NHS
Yeah.
after Brexit, Matt Walsh, I think it was, just went, yeah, Trump might have had something to do with it, actually, come to think of it. Yeah. Let me just give you some highlights. And I'm not even going into half of it here.
Mm-hmm.
End no fault divorce. So if you just decide you don't love each other anymore and want a divorce, you can't. You have to blame one of the people. Now, if you're going to do that, you're not going to put your hand up and say, yeah, I'll put my name to it. I'll say I was adulterous. Because then you're paying your frigging alimony for the rest of your life, aren't you? You're
Mm-hmm.
paying your kids and complete ban on abortion without exemptions. I was going to comment on this. I don't have a womb or a
I
uterus.
don't have a vagina, so it's not my fucking problem.
So it's not my fucking problem. I've got opinions on it, but it's not to do with me. So yeah. Ban contraceptives. Is this the Catholic Church of the like 1970s?
I have plenty of socks. Bada bing, bada boom on
You
the
just
wall.
you
Bada
just
bing, bada boom on the floor.
you just use a Snickers wrapper, wouldn't you? The rhythm method. Do you remember that when they taught you that at school? The rhythm method.
Here, do you know what? Do you know what you could use nowadays? You could use one of those fucking green bags they give you for the food waste. What?
How, how much firepower do you think I'm packing down there?
Or like a co-op bag.
No, man, no, I'm not even going there. But do you remember those old money bags you used to get from the bank? That'll do.
It's kind of the
That'll
same
do.
thing, yeah.
Higher taxes for the working class. This is where I think it's all a bit. Nah, see, I I want to hate it, and
Those fucking poor people don't pay enough.
but
Fuck them.
I've heard plenty of. I do not know what to trust on the internet anymore. I don't know if I'm looking at a proper Project 25 or somebody's taking the piss.
But that's always been the case, though, isn't it? And now the problem is, I seen a video, an AI video of Gary and Phil Neville like tongue kissing each other earlier on. I don't know if that's true or not. Might
Right.
be.
What else have we got? Um, it's scary, man. Elimination of unions and worker protections. Stuff like this makes me think, who would write that?
See, that's the kind of stuff, though. That's the kind of stuff, though, that may fuck him
Now this is
if this is implemented.
this is a few bits where he's come in though. I remember I've seen a video of him. Eliminate the Department of Education.
He's I think he's already came out on
He's already
TV in
said
the last
this
couple
one.
of days. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Teach Christian religious beliefs in public schools.
He doesn't even fucking believe in God.
Um, One of the main ones was ban African American and gender studies in all levels of education. African American studies, is that not like, if you talk about like what do they say in Spider-Man, where there's two canon events? If
Mhm.
there's canon events in America, there's the Revolution and there's the Civil War.
Listen, I know we stole you from Africa, but get over it.
Ban books and curriculum about slavery.
Yeah, because that always works. You know,
It said
when you don't educate yourself on your past, I mean, you're never destined to fucking repeat it.
it said he's going to put more ability for parents to choose their child's education. What does that mean?
That means more persecution of teachers. That's what that means.
And he says they're going to sack the bad teachers. So basically, if
The
you're a
bad.
teacher, yeah, the bad ones, the very bad ones, very bad, so bad, so bad.
If you're a black teacher, if
No, but I think
you don't want
it's
to pray in the morning,
no, I think it's things like you're in class and you say there's no God, sacked. You say you're allowed to be a girl if you want to, Timmy, you're sacked.
fact.
If you say, do you know there's this thing called slavery, you're sacked. That's bored. That's getting towards George Orwell shit.
Mm-hmm.
And who's he putting in charge of healthcare?
Oh,
Robert F.
RFK.
Kennedy. RFK. The guy who killed a
Really?
horse in Central Park.
A bear,
A
a
bear, sorry.
bear.
A
Yeah, he
bear.
dumped. He sorry, it gets worse than that. He found a dead bear and dumped it in Central Park. Yeah.
So he's putting, and he's notoriously anti-vax.
Oh, notoriously hinged as well, as I hear. Yeah, just all there mentally.
So this is why everyone's mental about Trump. And of course, there's probably going to be some Trump I2s proves me wrong. But think about this, right? They're going to take fluoride out of the water, so the kids' teeth are going to everyone's teeth are going to get rotten, or there won't be as good. It's going to end Medicare. It's going to abolish the Department of Education and basically privatize schooling. So now, if you're one of those people who live close to a half decent school and you just happen to be in that area and you can join that school and you're very lucky, if you can't afford to send them there soon, you're out of it. And it's going to end up being like fucking sending your kids to Dangerous Minds with Michelle Pfeiffer every year, right? That's the
Julio singing in the
worst.
corner.
That's the worst. He is then your vaccinations are going to be in charge by a bear killer. And then just hoping your parents were born in that country, America,
Mm-hmm.
you might be able to get to stay. Because there is a guy, he looks like a proper, in like those like Avatar and those future sci-fi military fascist films like Super Troopers and
Yeah.
Starship
Soylent
Troopers.
Green.
Yeah. The guy who's dealing with the border now, I don't even know his name. It looks like it should be a Rex something. Rex Johnson. And
Rex
it was interviewed.
Banner.
And he was interviewed recently and they said, well, how can you, if a child is born in America, they are a US citizen. How can you deport the parents and split the family up? And he said, just matter of fact, who says we have to split the family up?
Yeah.
And she goes, what? And he goes, well, we'll deport them as well. And it was just so matter of fact. And and
See,
and it's that, sorry, it's the argument that I heard or I haven't heard for 20 years around, terrorism and all this. It was, what price can you put on protecting the country? What price can you put on freedom and being safe? What price can you put on that? And you're like, you're using that one. They're not, Mexicans are not coming over the border and flying planes into your fucking skyscrapers. They just want to come and make some fucking food or work a shitty job to be able to afford a slightly better life than down in Mexico or wherever they're from. That's all people want to do. And it's like, you're undocumented. You're not paying tax. The fucking are. What about all those illegals who are voting? How the fuck are they voting if you haven't got the details? So they're paying tax, they're paying social security, they're doing all this. They're just not on your numbers. They just weren't born here and they came on. So you know what? Somebody said it was billions the undocumented workers paying taxes into the system, even though they
I would say
can't.
more.
Yeah, even though they can't take out welfare and Medicare and all this, they can't take anything from this system, but they're still paying to it. And this guy is sat there just going, yeah, we're just going to kick them all out. So everyone's going to get kicked out. Your price of your stuff's going to go up. Your teeth are going to be rotten. Your kids are going to be thick. If you get pregnant because your dad's raped you, fuck you. You're cooked. If you're having a baby and God forbid anything should go wrong, like an ectopic pregnancy, you're done. You'll die. It, all because some crazy old white man and his mates wanted to be in power another 4 years. That's if he decides not to rip up the constitution and give himself the chance to run for another 4 years.
See, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. We're looking at all this stuff, and I believe that there is some truth to the Project 25 stuff that he's put down. But we're expecting a man who couldn't build a quarter mile of a fucking wall that he promised to build
Yeah.
across the southern border of United States and Mexico. We're trusting that this guy can actually get fucking stuff done. He was speaking from 2015, maybe 2014, that he had solved Medicare and Medicaid, and everyone's health insurance everyone would have health insurance, and everybody would have be great, and they'd be great. And 6 years later, not one fucking thing was done. So I think there are some things that banner headline ones. I believe that there will be fucking undocumented people that are kicked out from the
Yeah.
country. I believe that some people will be dehomed from where they've been called home for quite a while. I believe that will happen. But as for abortion will probably, go state to state.
Yeah.
I can't see places like California or Washington
New
or
York.
New York or Boston, giving up abortion. So it'll become state to state. It'll make it harder, obviously, for people to have abortions in like Middle America. So they'll have to travel, and we've all seen those scary adverts of the father and the daughter in the car and the cop stopping them. So I believe that stuff will happen. But if we generally are expecting this fucking orange man baby to get all this stuff done, there are still a lot of really fucking smart people in America. There's a lot of really, really good fucking organizations over there that have a lot of power and can stop a lot of stuff. And I just cross my fingers for people. It can be a scary time when things like this happen, when change like this happens. Um, I am still living under the assumption that some good may come out of this. Yes, as you say, he may fucking rip up the Constitution, but surely that would negate any kind of argument then that they would have about being American and being free and fucking tra la la the fucking
It's all gone.
Constitution. Surely that is it then.
America is literally built on that. That is, for me, it's like I look at America and you're like, for as nuts as you all are, for as free as you all are, for as crazy and as self-aggrandizing and the way you think you run the world and the best, for all that, you've got this unwavering commitment to those documents. The Bill
Yep.
of Rights, the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, they're all there in the library in America in Washington. And no matter what, that's their rights. They are your rights as a person, and it's built this whole country on it. And while some of them are stupid, right to bear arms and things, it's showing that they are committed to those. And the first second that you go and say, George Washington said, I'm stepping down. I'm only gonna have these terms and I'm off this one term, I think it was. Was it two? Can't remember. But he said it was away. I'm not gonna run. Somebody else needs to come in and do it. And that's what your whole country's built. And as soon as Trump says that, I think you're going down a very dangerous path because
See,
you lose your identity as a country.
I think what he's obviously trying to build is he will subtly change that. Like Barron, Barron will be the next
Yeah.
president. Yeah. And Trump will be his fucking VP, and that's what they will put their case in forward. And it's not just something that's going to happen over 4 years. This is something, this is it now. Like they are the Florida Kennedys now. Like this is what it is. Like this is what this has been building up to, and this is what he's
Yeah,
wanted.
yeah.
This is what it is. And he doesn't have to touch that part of their constitution. He doesn't have to change them 4 years. All he has to do is put the puppet where he wants. And he has so many
Yeah.
fucking sycophants, so many fucking people that want to put their fucking tongue up his arse that he will have infinite power until his pig heart fucking explodes.
All he's got to do is put Vance in 4 years' time, be his vice president, and just carry
Yep.
on running the country and say to Vance, I'm in charge.
Yep.
And yeah.
Putin.
But yeah,
Medvedev. What Putin did with Medvedev.
yeah. But I'd like to think that the Secret Service, they are sworn to the office of the president, not the president themselves. But then again, they're sworn to uphold the Constitution. And if the walking, diaper stain has just fucking changed the
Just
Constitution to say he is
get your own
supreme.
people.
Yeah, president for
Get
life.
your
That's
own
coming.
people. Yeah. Get your
President
own
for
people to
life.
do it.
We've got. If I think, I'd like to think is a very awful but sorry, phrase. But if that happened, do you think there'd be enough people in America who would rise up? That's Civil War too. Do you know what I mean?
I,
If somebody
I,
comes and betrays that constitution, takes a third term, runs the
no,
country from behind somebody else, changes the
no,
constitution, say he is president for life,
yeah.
then the 60 million people voted for Harris. You're telling me at least 20 million of those can't form a fucking decent militia?
But they wouldn't. They just wouldn't do it
Why?
because they are so ingrained. I don't know what Trump has put into the
Yeah, but you've
water.
got the other half of people. For as much as he got 70 million votes, Harris got 60 million. All I'm
Still
saying
more.
is, I'd like to think there's still decent in amount of people
Oh,
in
there is.
America
There is.
who believe in the constitution of what it is now rather than what Trump could very well change it to. But he
But
probably won't.
what we've noticed, in countries like Pakistan and Afghanistan and Iraq and Iran, the American government have some really fucking spicy drones that he's now in charge of.
Yeah.
And he can fucking wipe shit out if he wants to.
Somebody
So
said
having
about
a war against the American people, having a war against the American government, not gonna happen.
few people said about how everyone's saying Trump's number 47. Well, won't it be great if Biden just one second. If Biden was to resign and step away now, put Harris in as the new president at number 47, and she is then the one who passes over. So she's the first female president. She was president again before Trump was all this shit. And do you know what I said to that? Have you seen how sprightly Joe's looking lately?
Yeah.
Did you see what Jill wore to voting day? This is a country who's dominated, their parties are dominated by colours Republican red, Democrat blue. Red and blue, red and blue. So Jill Biden, Democrat, First Lady to the President of the United States, on election day, wore a bright red pantsuit and gold shoes. what does that say for who she's just voted for? As somebody who probably has somebody pick her clothes out every day, and you've worn red to an election day when it's you just won't do it unless you were making a very big point. Joe Biden, he had pictures taken where he accidentally put the Trump hat on. He's never done a single bit of campaigning for Harris, but then you think maybe they've wanted to keep him away. Maybe he
Yeah.
hasn't wanted to be involved. Do you know what I mean? And I think he sat in the White House, lame duck president, thinking she's getting all the attention. Fuck her. You know, I've had a bad couple of months, bad year or so with my mental health or whatever. You know, with my cognitive whatever. And suddenly it's all been blown out of proportion. And now it's after
Man,
the
woman,
election.
horse.
And Biden's just is fucking springing around everywhere. He's having chats with people. He's like, "Hey, how you doing?" People, and it's like, "You were doing it, Joe. You were fucking working it." And I think he's just wanted to retire, and he's thought, "Fuck you all, Democrats. You force me out, I'm going to make you lose." I can't. Trump's gone sat quiet on Joe recently, hasn't he? In terms of how he's been slagging him off. I think he
It's
knows
not
he's
his
done him a
target, any,
favor.
but that's not his target anymore.
Oh, he's still carried on though. He's still
He's
carried
not
on.
his target.
Um, so 4 years, 4 more years
4 more years.
of the
4 more
podcast.
years.
Um, so next time, what are we talking about? Oh, the death of cinemas.
Cinema.
So, what do you think about cinemas? How was your most recent experience? At Pod Movie Chef for now, or probably at Tebbs and Corm is
Mhm.
probably going to want it to be. I'm going to stick my neck out and say at Tebbs and Corm is going to be our Twitter X feed or X Elon. We're gonna get verified on Twitter as well. So I think Elon's great. How you doing, Elon?
Elon's fucking amazing. Bringing me to the moon.
X. Um, That was great for YouTube, by the way. Go onto our YouTube channel, the Movie Chef Podcast, or Shouting at Clouds. We will put all of our videos of our thingies, what do they call them? Podcasts on there.
Mhm.
There's going to be the reviews, up and
What's
coming
this?
pod.
What's this? What's the silver thing here? Whoa. Whoa. What is it, Paul? What is it?
I can't tell you. Background's blurred. What is it?
Yeah. It's the frame for a canopy. Whoa.
So, thanks, Com. We are on YouTube, so I'm going to be doing a review of WWE Survivor Series when that comes up at the end of this month, and then I'll be doing Saturday Night Main Event. I'll be previewing those as well with Dan from PCB WrestlePod, and then obviously we're going to be doing run up to the Royal Rumble, which me and you are going to do an episode on for the Royal Rumble.
Hmm.
So that's all your WWE. That's going to be to one side. So if you want to listen to WWE, tune into those episodes. If you don't, you don't. I'm trying to think of a way for us to finish.
I don't know.
No, we
How
normally
about
say
we
bye
just
everyone, but I'm trying to
how
do it.
about we
I'm trying
just
to
say
mix it up.
goodbye? Yeah, we just say goodbye.
Fuck you, everybody. Goodbye. No. Oh,
Bye.
let's finish with a joke.
Okay.
Have you heard Yoko Ono is going to be on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here? Apparently, she's shown great talent for feeding off of one dead beetle for 30 years. There we go. Did you like that one?
She's a lot of talent.
No, she doesn't.
No, she doesn't.